Nationalism is a dog whistle for white nationalism. I think that's why Donald Trump said that there were people telling him he shouldn't say it. He knew exactly the message he was sending, and we see this, you know, from people who want to justify and enable Donald Trump over and over again. When we see him mocking a reporter, they say he was, I don't know, dancing the Macarena. When, you know, he pretends he doesn't hear the question about denouncing David Duke, they pretend the earpiece wasn't on well. When we hear him boasting about sexual assault, they pretend it's locker room talk. This is what happens over and over and over again. But his base understands this clearly. He sent the message clearly. That's why he said, I mean, why else would he say, I'm not supposed to use this word? He knows what he is doing. And what drives me crazy is that instead of talking about the red tide in Florida, instead of talking about the murder and cover-up that the U.S. is allowing the Saudi Arabian government to perpetrate on Jamal Khashoggi's murder, after we saw the son being forced into saluting the royals there today, we are talking about this, another shiny object that Trump throws and that we have to react to, because how don't you react when the President of the United States goes out and calls himself practically, you know, a racist?
Here's why he said that he's told that he shouldn't say it. And it's a shame we've come to this point, but pride in country and pride in America first has been unfortunately regarded increasingly by many elites who believe more in transnationalism and multilateralism than they do in America. It's become regarded as something retrograde.
You think that we're criticizing?
You
think I just did what I did on the magic wall because I'm an elitist who doesn't like the idea of caring about your country? That's why you think I did it, Steve?
The fact that you tried to ascribe American nationalism, that you tried to compare it to Nazi nationalism, tells me that you don't understand it at all.
Did I actually use the word Nazi? I don't believe I did, and there's a reason I didn't. But also, let me tell you something. There's no such thing as American nationalism. There's just nationalism, okay?
Well, there sure
and
is.
it's attached itself to different cultures.
There is American
If you want to
nationalism.
redefine it, it's fine. But let me give you a pro tip from politics. Don't use nationalism and try to redefine it. Find a new word, okay?
Enlightened American
Chris,
nationalism
why would
has
they
been
take
a great force for good
when
for the
creating
world.
Cultural wars? Chris, why would they take that pro tip when dividing America, when fabricating culture wars, when making it them versus us has worked for Donald Trump in the past? He's going back to his old playbook, man.
No.
There's nothing new here. What
American nationalism,
throwing out this kind of red meat and this racist dog whistling type of language.
Bannon didn't even call it American nationalism. He called it economic nationalism because he was trying to parse a little carefully. I don't know where you're going with American nationalism. That's an oxymoron.
No, it is not. American nationalism is about individualism. It's about free enterprise, about tolerance. It's about America's leadership in the world. And it's about a country that is not based on race, that's not blood and soil, a country based on ideals. And it's about also rejecting the idea that America, as the superpower of the world, should submit to the will of multilateralism. We've done that too much, whether it's bad trade deals, unfair security deals. And it's about America saying that the world is actually better off, by the way, when every country puts itself first. Britain first, Austria first, Mexico first. There's actually, ironically, more harmony, more prosperity and security for the world when we follow those paths of enlightened self-interest rather than trying to rely on multilateral structures that
has to do with nationalism. Even when you put a positive spin on it, it's always about, through force, putting your ideals on others, whether they want it or not, and subverting others. That's what nationalism is. And it's interesting, you know, you raise a point. George Orwell said another aspect of nationalism, maybe you're right, maybe you guys are nationalists, is flagrant dishonesty, that they will flood the zone with dishonesty because they're so sure they can convince people of what they believe to be true. Maybe that's what we're seeing with the president, Anna, in these last stretch to the midterms.
What are we forcing on others?
A false definition of nationalism, fears about foreigners, fears about what's coming in the caravan, lies about what's happening in this country, about fraudulent voters, about riots that don't happen. I can't even remember all of them because you're flooding the zone. I'm out of time. Anna, thank you very much.
Protecting borders.
Steve, I'm out of time.
5,000 lies. You're not supposed to remember 5,000 lies.
Yeah, I am, because when you don't forget them, they wind up taking root. But thank you both for having the
Protecting
argument.
borders is sensible nationalism.
No one said it wasn't.